Yo, it's Mac from the Everyday Nobody's podcast. I know you see the title, so let's get straight to it. That boy Joe Budden is grimy. I knew this whole friendship between him and Math Hoffa was a facade all along. Now Joe is finding every reason to kick Math Hoffa's back in. I remember back in the day, Joe, Flip, and Math Hoffa, they all came together. They had like kind of a podcast idea. They shot one episode, and that was before Flip came onto Joe Budden's platform. But it seemed like they was about to, create a bond, create a team, if you will. Joe ended up going on Math Hoffa's show, My Expert Opinion. And even there was certain points of contention between the two. See, at the time, Joe was leaning into this narrative that he was a part of the LGBTQ community. Math was pressing him about it because he wanted to know, was Joe actually a part of that community or if he was just doing it for the sake of content? Joe was trying to explain to Math that whether he is a part of the community or he isn't, it's not his business what his sexual preference is.
Okay. What's up? What's your question?
Then you gonna bust down.
Is that part of potting?
Is what part of potting?
Saying that you're bisexual.
You asked me who I like to f***. Is that what you asking me?
Say it again?
You asked me who I like to f***.
Yeah.
Ain't business.
Yo.
Then Math went on Joe's platform, but the episode never came out. Math was basically calling Joe weird because he was like, why won't you put this episode out? And Joe responded, if I put this episode out, it's going to make you look bad, and I don't want to do that to you. To my understanding about the episode that Joe never put out, Math would have looked bad because it leaned back into the LGBT community. Joe felt like Math was going to end up on the wrong end of that community attacking him because some of the things that he said. Math was like, okay, if that's the case, why don't you just edit around those parts, exclude that, and put the episode out? Because that would have definitely helped Math out. Then Joe just said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting any of it out.
I remember I had this conversation with Joe, the episode that he never put out. And I said, yo, as a friend.
You had an interview with Joe Budden?
And he never put it out.
Why?
He said that the conversation would have got, the alphabet people involved and, you know what I mean? He was trying to save me.
Are you and Joe cool now? Because someone's saying that y'all got some sort of friction now, or?
We don't got no friction. It is what it is.
So y'all cool now or no?
Fast forward to Joe having that whole sleepwalking incident. Everybody was talking about it. A bunch of podcasters that was kicking Joe's back in, whether they were just making jokes or they was actually calling him a perv. So Joe internalized it and he waited until it was his time to go in. Fast forward to about a month ago, Math Hoffa, he goes on IG Live and he's in the barbershop in the dark and he's explaining why he's no longer shooting out of that barbershop. He explained that he was subleasing the barbershop anyway, and him and the landlord, they had some issues anyway because the landlord was confused. Why, if this is a barbershop, why is it closed all day and the lights are running all night? Are you selling drugs? Math Hoffa was clearly offended by that because he's not. He's like, yo, I had RFK Jr. in here. Like, of course I'm not selling drugs. But it does look away when you have a barbershop that does not operate during the day. It's operating only at night. And then you got bodyguards outside of it. Just too much hustle and bustle going on for the landlord. He didn't like that from the jump. Then the landlord gave Math the tab for the light bill, and it was $7,000. So basically, we found out that Math just wasn't handling his business properly. Then we started to see Mecca, his co-host, start to branch out, and he was doing interviews with Bag Fuel. Bag Fuel is the people who was once on My Expert Opinion, who are actually one of the many co-hosts that Math had to part ways with. That was a sign that things were going downhill because, one, Math started doing a bunch of like Zoom interviews, or he was just like in the camera doing one-on-ones by himself. That let you know. And then seeing Mecca go, not with the ops, because Mecca really wasn't enemies of these people, but for him to stay at My Expert Opinion, he knew he couldn't associate with the former co-host at Backfuel. So seeing him on that show let you know that, okay, this is over. My Expert Opinion is over. Math is going solo. And Joe was licking his chops because this was his time to strike. First, he was making fun of Math recording in the dark in the first place. That he just got a kick out of that because you look like a bum. Then he would speak on how he doesn't trust anybody who has a bunch of fallout with friends and a bunch of fallout with co-hosts and colleagues. And they always have this long-winded story about how nothing was ever their fault. And he felt like Math was the perfect candidate for that, even though some could say that's Joe also. But Math has fallen out with Bigga, Heineken, Esso, Space Ghost. There's more people. What's the girl that used to rap? Bottom line, he's falling out with a bunch of people. And Backfield, they even said like they knew he was getting paid a lot of money to do this. I think at one point he had made $200K in a month and they didn't get nothing for it. So yeah, it's looking like Math has a history of just not paying people. That's also why Space Ghost left. He wasn't paying him.
In life.
All right.
Don't give us the humble speech. Humble yourself.
No, seriously. In life, for me, I'm talking about me and indicators and things that I use as signs and ways to identify when I need to get the away from people in the world.
Oh, no.
And one of those signs for me is when there's always a story. That's it. That was the punch. When you see me at the bar for 10 years and every time I see you, it's a story about something going on in your life that involves a lot of words, I leave you and judge. Some of you use too many words for me.
I got that from you. I say that to a lot of people now.
Honestly. But wait, I'm not saying that those people are wrong in what they're saying.
But it's just too much.
It's just too much. I don't care.
Well,
So Math is that for me. When he lost SO and them I ain't say nothing. But he did. And it was a lot of words. I wasn't that invested. And then my man, the supreme Muslim,
you talking about
super Muslim. What's
Bigger.
my man? You know my name, Bigger.
Bigger.
Shout out to Bigger. Was about to try to fight Smith and Wesson.
Then when you think it's over, Joe will call him, put him on air. He called him on air to put the nail in the coffin and clown him to his face. It got to the point where Math was like, yo, are we even friends? Like, when is too far too far? When is everything just going to be content with you? And Joe was like, no, we are friends. But I do not forget, when I was going through that lawsuit, you was perfectly fine making fun of me, kicking my back in, and I was going through something serious. And also, he said, don't forget, I texted you on many occasions when you had people up there that you know I don't like, and you allowed them to speak bad on me. So yes, we're friends, but I did not forget. So now that you in the dark in the barbershop, now it's my time to tell you about yourself. Joe was looking for his get back, and he was willing to wait however long it took to get it. That boy Joe is grimy as hell. I didn't think he had to go that hard, especially putting it on camera. Like, that just, that touched a nerve. Don't get me wrong, I get where Joe's coming from. He's like, hey, when I was going through something serious, it was a joke to you, so now this is a joke to me. It's just weird because I don't, this whole friendship thing, they say they're friends, it don't seem like they friendly. Because both situations was a little too serious to just be joking about. But hey, all's fair in love and war, right? But what do I know? I'm just an everyday nobody. Tell me what you think. Is it okay to play like your friends but have the secret animosity and kick your friend's back in when he's on his lowest point? Or is it just an eye for an eye? You did it to me, so I'm going to do it to you. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.